What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Wrestling Inc. podcast alongside Vince Russo, the birthday boy.
What's going on, my friend? Sean, good. I had a good day today. Watched a little bit of football, then watched the Royal Rumble, and here we are.
Well, to the victor go the spoils, and since Raj's team won, he doesn't have to hang out with us, and you have to hang out with me.
That's your Patriots. All right. Hey, bro. Hey, Rogers lost my game, Sean. How about that?
Well, hopefully Raj doesn't have alcohol poisoning anywhere right now after that victory. The Denver Broncos going back to the Super Bowl. As always, this show is brought to you by Onnit. Thank God I had Onnit tonight. I took 2 Alpha Brains. It really helped me out. Big supporter of Onnit, as well as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H is an avid user of Onnit. Save 10% right now at onnit.com/wrestling. You can use great products like New Mood, T+, the Total Primate Care. Awesome stuff from Onnit. And if you don't like it, if you don't want to enter the Royal Rumble number 30 and become the new World Heavyweight Champion, if you don't want to do that next year, you can send that Onnit stuff back and they'll give you your money back. No big deal. But as I mentioned, well, I'll say this. I believe it was Metallica that once sang, "Well, we had a Royal Rumble and it really kicked ass. Yeah. But I could be wrong.
Listen, don't quit your day job, Sean. I'll tell you that right now, bro.
Hey.
I mean, not for anything, bro. You know what I mean?
Come on now. Come on. Well, anyway, Royal Rumble, and Triple H is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. People, you're going to either love it or you're going to hate it. There's probably no in between. There's very, very little wiggle room in you wanting or not wanting Triple H as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I'll go through the match and we'll talk about because it's a 60-minute match, so we can't just attack the end. It started with Roman Reigns.
We're not going to talk about the undercard at all, just the Rumble.
Oh, well, no, we are, but the biggest match. We're going to start off with that.
Right.
We're going to start off with that.
I just want to follow you there, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. You start off with Roman Reigns. He quickly disposes of Rusev. I didn't like that. Vince, I mean, we've talked about a year ago. If you would have put Rusev in the ring with Brock Lesnar, that would have been a big match. What did you think about him just getting unceremoniously tossed before number 3 came out?
Yeah, bro. Listen, listen, we know you have to be very, very, very careful with Roman Reigns. And I think there was enough of a hint that there was going to be a very hostile crowd, in Orlando today. I mean, that's what I was reading today anyway. So with that being said, when it's 1-2, and, I know they want to make Reigns look strong. I understand that, and I get that. But knowing you're going to go in there and the crowd's going to be hostile, and then he eliminates Rusev off the bat, that immediately got him even more heat with the people that were there. And again, bro, but I think more importantly, it's what you just pointed out, Sean. They had Rusev at the brink at one point. I mean, the guy was right there. And to be eliminated that quickly in a Royal Rumble just shows you how much he's fallen. I know there were injuries and whatnot. And, Rusev doesn't write the TV, but this is a guy that they had right there that they just got to rebuild all over again.
Yeah, we had AJ Styles debut at number 3. And Vince, that's one of the biggest pops I have heard in a WWE situation in a very long time.
Well, listen, Sean, you and I are going to disagree on this. I'll tell you why. First of all, let me make this perfectly clear. I worked with AJ for over a decade. I love AJ, probably more than any other human being I ever worked with. But again, bro, it's like, one thing you're always taught in wrestling, the boys are taught this, the writers are taught this, the agents are taught this. Everything you're taught is not to play for the house, to play for the masses. So yes, again, that's an internet wrestling crowd. That's a diehard wrestling crowd. They know AJ from Orlando and TNA, and that's all great. And that's why he got the pop in the house. But to me, I'm not so sure, that out of, the 3.5 million fans that WWF has these days, I'm not sure how many of them knew who AJ Styles was. So I just want to make it clear, bro, there's a huge difference between the pop in the house and the like I said, 3.5, 4 million people at home. Do they really know who AJ is? My opinion, bro. I don't think this was the best way to debut AJ Styles. I would have had a little bit more of a build-up and made him come in really as being somebody for those that aren't familiar with him. So, I mean, that's just my take on it. But let me say this. I'm thrilled to death for AJ. At this point in his career, he needs to be on the main stage. I'm glad he's on the main stage. But again, man, I don't want people to get confused with the pop of the house and what that entire audience at home is thinking.
Well, regardless, that was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my life. That was deafening. Like, I thought that my sound was messed up on my television at first because it was so loud that it was almost quiet. It was really, really unusual. And it's very surreal to see AJ Styles in that WWE ring. It's such an out of place, different feeling. It's something, and as soon as he got in there, he would turn around to one guy, turn around to another guy, and I'm like, oh, wait, he's never faced this guy. He's never faced this guy. He's never faced this guy. In a WWE situation where, it's rematch after rematch after rematch, this is a big shot in the arm for them, depending how they book him. He was eliminated after about 30 minutes by Kevin Owens, and based on the fact that Sami Zayn came out after that, I was wondering if that elimination was actually supposed to happen. If we get AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens out of that, they're going to put together some special matches.
Well, I got to tell you, Sean, I think that was definitely done by design, and I think it was brilliant for them to let Owens eliminate AJ because, again, they're in Orlando. That's an NXT crowd. The people were popping and going crazy for AJ, like you said, but they love Owens too. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody other than Owens would have eliminated AJ, I think there would have been a problem. But the fact that one of their own eliminated AJ, they kind of didn't know how to respond. I think that was a smart move on their part.
I think the only other way to have went would have been if Triple H eliminated AJ, because that's a person you want heat on. Is Triple H. Yeah. You want the heat on him. But anyway, AJ had a good showing. Man, they stiffed the hell out of him in that ring. He was getting beaten down. Luckily, he uses that DDP yoga that we like so much. But I'm thrilled to see AJ Styles there. I thought he was the best wrestler of the year. He's a fantastic get for the company. I'm so happy. And we will see as the weeks go on how much of that crowd translates and how much of the audience is aware of who AJ Styles is. I think it'll be a good portion. But I mean, even if everybody knew who he was, you know how WWE crowds are sometimes. They're really fickle and really quiet in some places, so it might not matter. What did you think of R-Truth's spot in this match? Because I died.
I thought it was stupid, bro. We're going to have to agree to disagree. I mean, I thought it, bro. I thought it was the wrong place for that spot. This is the Royal Rumble. The title's on the line. I just thought it was silly and stupid. And hey,
everybody, party's over. Vince hates everything. Let's just go home.
We'll just disagree on that one, bro. I did not think that was a place for that, in my opinion. Because when you have everybody standing around watching them, it makes everybody else look stupid.
Vince Russo hates everything. That needs to be your new segment, Vince.
Bro, did I not just put them over for Owens eliminating AJ?
That's true, I guess. But I thought that was hilarious. We had our annual Kofi Kingston spot, a little more underwhelming than most years. They actually missed his elimination altogether, but he was knocked off the apron onto Big E's shoulders and sat there and had a soda. I mean, with Big E, he probably could have kept him on his shoulders for the rest of the match. But that was your Kofi spot. Sami Zayn, as yours truly predicted, came out and eliminated Kevin Owens. That's going to continue their feud. Either on the main roster, NXT, not sure where it's going to go, but I thought that was a good spot for Sami Zayn. These two guys have been feuding since literally December of 2014. So what did you think of this? I know that
I think you got to look a little bit more into this, Sean, because I think tonight, bro, there was a changing of the guards. The fact that you're seeing AJ Styles in there, and the fact that you're seeing Sami Zayn in there, and the fact that you're not seeing DDP in there, and the fact that you're not seeing Bubba Ray Dudley in there, and the fact that you're not seeing Shawn Michaels in there or any other veteran, that is a changing of the guard. But again, bro, I'm just gonna go back to it again. The casual audience, the mass audience, the Royal Rumble is when they expect to see a Page, or they expect to see a somebody. They got Triple H at the end, and you saw they all went crazy when Triple H came out. Again, bro, I understand. Now you go into the younger guys, but Sami Zayn is another guy. That's niche market. That's Orlando. That's NXT. So again, in the house, good pop. How are the people at home going to react? And like I said, bro, I definitely felt it was a changing of the guards with an AJ and a Sami Zayn, and no other veteran outside of Triple H. And the only reason he was there was because it fit storyline. So I think it was very significant.
Okay, but is that not establishing Sami Zayn? He made his WWE debut against John Cena in a very high-profile match. He made his return against Kevin Owens in arguably the second biggest match of the entire WWE year, which is the Royal Rumble match, and eliminated Sami Zayn. They ran down his history. I'm sure they're going to do video packages. Is this not establishing Sami Zayn?
I got to tell you something, Sean. I don't think you're for a newcomer. I don't think you're establishing anybody in the Royal Rumble unless they win it. When this match is over and done with, bro, again, I'm talking about the masses. I'm not talking about the people in the building. When this match is over and done with, they're not going to remember AJ Styles' performance. Bro, I had already forgotten who Sami Zayn eliminated. They're going to remember the end. They're going to remember one, Triple H. But again, like I said, bro, it's nothing against those guys. I just don't think a Royal Rumble is a place where you're going to get somebody fairly new over unless they win it.
Well, this is a guy that, like I said, with even though he's had an injury for a while, he's been feuding with Kevin Owens for well over a year. These two have had a well-documented history together. Not on the main roster, as I said. This is them establishing it on the main roster. This is them transitioning it over.
But if you don't watch NXT, Sean, you don't know who you. Sean, I don't watch NXT. I don't care about NXT.
You don't have to.
There's a lot of people like me, bro.
I know there are, and that's why they'll do video packages. That's why this is a transition to get Sami Zayn on the main roster. It's his excuse to get on the main roster.
You and I agree.
He showed up in the Royal Rumble to eliminate a guy that he's had a vendetta against. And this was his opportunity to get back at him, and it's going to lead somewhere. That's the entire point.
We're going to agree to disagree, because I'm a firm believer in when you break somebody new into the WWE, you need to set the table for them. You need to build up momentum and anticipation that they're somebody before they even come into the WWE.
Having a competitive title match with John Cena wasn't setting the table?
No.
What?
No. Did he win the match?
No, he didn't win the match.
Who cares how competitive it is, bro? Bro, I don't care if the Giants lose 10-0 or 3-2.
This isn't baseball.
Bro,
it's not baseball.
It doesn't matter. You said competitive. Do I care if the game's competitive? If somebody loses, what do I care?
Are you taking the match? You can't apply a Vin Diesel inch or a mile thing to WWE. It's entertainment. It's not a sport.
Who?
Vin Diesel. You did it doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. From Fast and the Furious.
A competitive match is not going to get anybody over, bro, unless you're an internet wrestling fan.
You mean to tell me that the Brooklyn Brawler wasn't ready to be a main eventer after he almost pinned Shawn Michaels? You're wrong, Vince. He was.
All right. Let's agree to disagree, bro.
Anyway, Roman Reigns, this is something that I didn't like. During this match, I want to say maybe 30, 35 minutes in, I didn't have my stopwatch with me. The League of Nations comes out. They put a molly-whopping on him. The League of Geeks, League of Dweebs, whatever you want to call them, drag him either under the bottom rope or through the middle rope and then beat the hell out of him to where he's stretchered out. How dumb do these guys look, Vince? How stupid do they look after this? They didn't toss him over the top rope.
Well, I bet, yeah, again, unfortunately, they don't write the show, but you're absolutely right, Sean. Like, bro, there were two. And listen, I don't want to nitpick this apart because I think the Royal Rumble match was great. I think it was very good towards the end. We'll get into Triple H winning. I'll talk to you about that. So, but I don't want to nitpick it apart, but to me, there were again two things that didn't work here. Number one, they didn't toss him back in the ring, like you said. That's an absolute no-brainer. Bro, number two, when he goes in the back and he comes back with 5 minutes left, that's a heel move. And like I said, you had some good indication that they were going to boo Reigns out of the building before this show even started. When he disappears and comes out at the end, they're going to boo him out of the building. So, again, bro, it's like the creative Vince McMahon, whoever it is, they have to pay more attention to the freaking details, bro, because like you said, not throwing him back in the ring is like ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous.
Like, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't even, maybe do something to goad him outside where he steps in between the ropes or something like that. But why drag him out? It's so weird. Alberto Del Rio came into the WWE with that great reception and all that crap. And one time he was, supposed to be their new Hispanic star. Rusev, as we mentioned, we talked a lot about Rusev. Then Sheamus was the champion a month and a half ago, and they looked like complete idiots, complete morons. They're total dweebs. I don't know what the hell any of these guys are doing. But
bro, I'm telling you, and I say this a lot, Sean, a lot of times wrestling has become a parody in itself. Because who looked like the biggest idiot out there? Freaking Vince McMahon.
Vince. Yeah,
he made him. He's the guy writing this, bro. Let's call a spade a spade. He made himself look like the biggest idiot out there. Again, bro, this is, they're writing this like it's Wrestling 101. In their minds, bro, what they're saying is, oh, it doesn't make sense if Reigns goes the whole way. So we got to find some way to eliminate him and bring him back. But the way you eliminated him and brought him back did not help Roman Reigns whatsoever.
Because
and that's what a guy, bro.
What a great way to build up babyface heat, right? Have him take a siesta in the back.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. It boggles my mind, man. Let's face it, Sean, there's a million ways to book this Royal Rumble.
I watched Rick Martel sit out there for 50 minutes one year, and he was a heel. Yeah. And Roman Reigns couldn't that upset me. It's like they have to know. I just don't get it. Either way, we had the Wyatt family out. Then eventually, we had Strowman, Rowan, and Harper out. Brock Lesnar came out, killed everybody, tossed them out. He went on a rampage. I'll tell you one thing. Braun Strowman sucks, but he looks like he had been practicing taking that tumble over the top rope for like 4 weeks straight. Like, I think he's been at the Performance Center just practicing jumping over the top rope.
Bro, you know what the funny thing is? As much as this is like a work, and we've seen it a million times, like how freaking impressive is Brock Lesnar every time he gets into the ring? Is it not like ridiculous, bro? Like every time he steps into the ring, it's like this guy's going to kill somebody,
I drove, and I really had no real desire to go see Night of Champions 2014 live. I made the 4-hour trip to Nashville just so I could say that I saw Brock Lesnar perform live. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And that's a true indicator. I make my living covering wrestling, and I had to go to this show. I just wanted to see Brock Lesnar hurt people.
And Sean, that's an amazing thing, like you just said, because that's what I always try to explain to everybody. It's business. So at the end of the day, who would you pay money to go see? And listen, bro, like these days, I really wouldn't be caught dead in a wrestling arena, but I would pay money to see Brock Lesnar. I definitely would pay money to see Brock Lesnar. No doubt about it.
He's a true draw.
Yeah.
Either way, Bray Wyatt came in. He went face-to-face with Brock Lesnar. Looks like that might be a WrestleMania match, but the Wyatt family came in. Brock fought him off for a little while before they eliminated him. So that's a good heat builder. But, Bray stayed in the match. It got down to, I think the final four was Reigns, Ambrose, Triple H, and Sheamus. Am I right?
I think so, yeah, because Jericho was out by that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Jericho looked good in this match. He got a good pop too, which with all the generic crappy promos he's cut lately, good for him that he was able to get that type of reaction. Also, I want to say this. The Miz got on commentary and drastically improved the quality of the commentary.
That's true.
That guy's really good.
Yep.
So maybe he's making a little case for him. They have quite a few decent color commentators at this point, with Lawler going heel and Corey Graves and maybe even The Miz. That'd be cool. So Triple H pops up at number 30 after Roman Reigns comes out and attacks Sheamus.
Can we go back, Sean? Because I think I had like 3 major problems with this show. Okay.
Sure.
My first problem was exactly what you said. They didn't throw him in the ring, and he disappears, and they totally buried Roman Reigns. It totally buried the guy. Here's my number 2 thing, Sean. Like I hated this. I understand like there's no DQ, but you can have guys that have already been eliminated in the match eliminate a guy in the match. You can have that. And that's what they did, bro. Why did they not let the Wyatt family, do what they did to Lesnar, get heat on Lesnar, and then cleared a way to let Bray Wyatt dump him out of the ring? Bray Wyatt was still in the match. And if that's where we're going to WrestleMania, but bro, the idea of guys that have already been eliminated to be able to get back in the ring and eliminate somebody who's still that's ridiculous.
I hate it.
But like I said, bro, all they had to do was soften Brock up, do what they did, and Bray was still active. Let Bray eliminate Brock. That's all they had to do.
It's so weird because by that notion, why didn't the Wyatt family just stay in there and toss everybody out?
That's what I'm saying, bro. These are the little things.
Why didn't the social outcasts come out at number 3 or whatever and help Curtis Axel, all 4 of them, chuck these guys over the top rope? That doesn't make sense.
That was a huge mistake in my opinion.
It's funny. One of the first things you learn in wrestling, especially if you're in the first match of the night, you do not bury the ref. Because if you bury the ref and you shove him on his ass in the first match, why is that crowd going to believe that he can hold anything up for the rest of the show? Why, with about 5-10 guys left, do you bury the officials at ringside by having a bunch of guys run in the ring? And
well, you know what, Sean? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, bro. Maybe that's part of the story. Maybe that's Paul Heyman's bitch tomorrow night. Maybe that's the story. But they have to cover that because that makes totally no sense, man.
Yeah. Well, we had the final 4. Sheamus gets tossed, and Roman Reigns gets tossed. And that was a shocker that early. I thought it was going to come down to Triple H, Roman Reigns. I think almost everybody did. Huge cheer from the crowd. And it's Ambrose and Triple H. And I mean, I think this was the you will boo Triple H moment, because I think WWE knew that him eliminating Reigns would get him cheered, but him eliminating Ambrose isn't going to get him cheered because people like Ambrose, not as much as they used to, but people do like him. Triple H is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This is something that we had kind of predicted before, leads to probably Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the title at WrestleMania. Like I said, people are either going to really love this or really hate it. How did you feel about it, Vince?
Well, bro, you got to understand this. And this is where, bro, like, a lot of people get caught up and they forget that it's a business. Okay. When I'm looking at this, I mean, my first instinct is Triple H did not need to win this match. To set up Triple H and Roman Reigns, Triple H did not need to go over. The match is already made. So I'm thinking they could have made somebody else in this match. Whoever else would have won the Rumble, they would have made. But then, bro, now I put on the business cap. Mm-hmm. How many seats do they have to fill at AT&T Stadium?
Like maybe 100,000.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why Triple H is your champion. I mean, it's that simple. So where I would have liked to see them make somebody else, Triple H did not need the title to have a marquee match with Reigns. At the end of the day, bro, they got a big arena they have to fill. That's why Triple H is the WWE champion.
I liked this. And one of the reasons that I liked this, and I can't remember who it was, I want to say it was maybe the guys at either Voices of Wrestling or Cage Side Seats that said, if you turn the crowd reaction off, the Roman Reigns Triple H story has been one of the better ones told recently. Because this is Triple H saying, Randy Orton couldn't get it done for the Authority. Seth Rollins couldn't get it done for the Authority. Sheamus couldn't get it done for the Authority. So I'll do it my damn self. And I like that. I like that Triple H, his character, even whether it's a character or whether it has shades of gray or transitions over to how he really is, his character has a giant ego. That's always been the thing. Triple H, he's burying people. Triple H, he's booking himself to the top. Triple H is using his McMahon ties to get himself to the top. That's what he did. And it's awesome. I think it's great storytelling that he did it. The fact that 46-year-old Triple H is the world champion and he put himself at number 30, like it's great. I think it's a fantastic way of doing it. Triple H so badly wanted Roman Reigns to not be the champion that he had Seth Rollins run out after during a Brock Lesnar match maybe, and had him beat Roman Reigns. He screwed Roman Reigns by having Sheamus beat him. And then he put him at number 1, came out at number 30, and got the job done himself. And now he's put himself in a position where he's the champion. He runs the company, and he's headlining WrestleMania. It is like, hey, did you watch the thing that Max Landis did, Wrestling Isn't Wrestling, last year?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Yep.
It's coming full circle. Yeah. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. I think it's great. And like I said, people are going to love it or they're going to hate it because of how they feel about Triple H personally. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. No, like I said, bro, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it was listen, bro, I really believe this was a case where it was best for business. But on the other side of the coin, I do feel, well, if it wasn't to sell out WrestleMania, they could have kept the Triple H Reigns match intact and got somebody over through the Rumble. But I don't have a problem with what they did at all.
Yeah, I like this. I thought it was actually a really good Rumble match.
Yeah, bro. Remember the Final Four last year, bro?
Oh God, it was miserable.
Oh my God, miserable. Yeah.
Also, big ups to Triple H. That false, like where Ziggler super kicked him. I legit thought that Triple H was gone. He held onto or he fell backwards and grasped onto the rope. I'm like, man, like I could never do that. There's no
bro. A couple of guys did that, and I was like, how the frig are they holding on with their body weight and one arm? That really is. I mean,
they got George Brett out there consulting them with pine tar and stuff like that, bro, for baseball reference for you, Vince.
Something.
But man, I thought it was an excellent match. What I thought maybe was even better, what kicked off the show, holy crap, Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens beat the hell out of each other, Vince. What did you think?
Yeah, no, they definitely they definitely did. They definitely beat the hell out of each other. I was surprised, bro, because they did something they don't normally do. Ambrose went over in the match. And then Ambrose was strong in the Royal Rumble. What they normally would have done was let Ambrose go over in the match and let Owens eliminate Ambrose. So I applaud them for that. I that was a surprise to me. Ambrose went over, and then he's the last one in there with Triple H. That's a great build for Ambrose. I think they did a great job with that. Yeah, and those two guys they just killed each other out there. I mean, I give them props all the way.
You know what my thoughts were when I saw this? I was thinking concussion in theaters now. That's exactly what I thought. Man, the chair shot not the chair shot, but Ambrose threw a chair at Owens' head. Hope they don't get in trouble for that. Just mayhem everywhere. And it culminated in an insane spot where Kevin Owens did this. Well, he was on the top rope, and I'm sitting there thinking, no, don't do it, what he's going to do, because he had Ambrose laying across a set of chairs that were set up, and he was about to do a flip onto him. And I was like, oh, no, don't do it. But then what happened was even worse. He got tripped up and took a tumble to the outside through a set of 2 stacked tables. For a feud that many thought had gone on maybe just a little too long, man, this was a great way to tie it up.
But Sean, can I point something out here? This is like where I always have my beef. And when I say this, bro, I say this to protect the guys. I don't say this because I don't like Owens. I'm saying it to protect them, make them as safe as possible, let them have a long, career. And you see how many guys are getting hurt, bro. Bro, here's what blew me away. When Ambrose knocked Owens from the top rope, right? Bro, Owens could have fell flat back. I mean, he just could have fell back. But, bro, the guy did a flip in the air before he hit the tables. And again, bro, this is where it's my opinion. Okay, bro, you're going to get this is awesome chance. You're going to get that, bro. But that spot is so much more riskier than just taking the bump back on the tables. And that's what I mean, bro, about, agents having to protect the guys from themselves, and guys have to start understanding it's not about the this is awesome chant. If I'm Kevin Owens, I want to be wrestling when I'm 40 years old, bro. I just don't think they have to take that extra risk that isn't necessary. That's all.
Well, taking a back bump from that spot, that leaves yourself really open to falling flat on the back of your head. If you do the front bump, you're more likely to land on your back, your ass, things like that, and it kind of breaks your fall. But if you take a tumble straight back from about 9-10 feet up, that's iffy. That's iffy territory. But I definitely see what you mean. But there was no shortage of just amazing spots of this match, and I thought it was a great way to tie it up. And the thing was, I was like, man, I feel bad for whoever follows this. But then New Day and Usos, I thought, went out and had a very good tag team title match as well. What did you think?
That's a really great point, Sean, because the way we used to write the shows, bro, they used to build to a crescendo. You know what I'm saying? Except like when we were in TNA, a lot of times we would open with the X Division, open with the car crash, get everybody up. But when you don't have that type of a match on here, you kind of build in crescendo, 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 crescendo. So like if that were me, that would have been the match like right before the Royal Rumble. I would have built to that. Yeah. So it's like you said, bro. Yeah, that's pretty hard to follow.
These guys probably just needed some time to recover from that semi truck wreck they were in.
That's absolutely it, bro. That's exactly. You got to give them as much time as possible. I mean, bro, listen, this is just me, and maybe people dig this. I don't like Woods coming out and kissing the trombone, and like, to me, bro, that's not funny. I
thought New Day was great. I thought this was awesome,
bro. I can't talk to you about it.
El Hijo del Francesca,
bro.
We had the son of Francesca. He brought Francesca. Well, they came out and they basically eulogized Francesca, but
bro, there's a huge difference in wrestling between being funny and being silly. That's silly and stupid. And maybe,
come on,
maybe the 10-year-olds like it, bro. I'm not 10 anymore.
They sell a lot of merch. They sell a whole lot of merch. A lot. I guarantee you, if they did WWE branded trombones, they would sell like crazy. All People would buy them for their little kids. Either way, Xavier Woods had a new one, and as he said, he had needs. They fixed the barricade after Kevin Owens did a cannonball through it because Big E ran one of the Usos into it and it didn't budge. Also, I want to say Kevin Owens harassed Michael Cole during the first match, and Xavier Woods did the same in this. And again, with commentary being as bad as it was tonight, those were good. Also, something I wanted to say, I always used to think a running splash was a lame move. I'd buy it as Big E's finish. He maybe has the best running splash I've ever seen in my life. That guy kills people.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. A guy that size, it's going to look impressive. It's going to look like he killed somebody. So I absolutely.
Jumps halfway to the ceiling, too. It's fantastic. Also, one of the Usos landed one of the nastiest super kicks I've ever seen in my life. The match ended where Big E just impressively caught Jimmy or Jey Uso and hit him with the big ending for the win. Like I said, I was really worried about this match, about whatever was on after Ambrose Owens not living up. or being able to follow it. I thought this did a damn good job. I thought they worked their asses off and they had a really good match.
And I thought what was really good that I really liked was that decisive victory at the end. I liked that. There wasn't, they hit the guy with the trombone. I mean, There was a devastating move, and that was the finish, and I thought that was really good.
What was not really good was this United States title match. Holy crap. They botched all over the place. And I know you have strong feelings about Kalisto beating Del Rio. Okay, this is weird. So Kalisto beat Del Rio, clean as a sheet, middle of the ring. Like I said, they screwed up so many spots. It was unbelievable. Del Rio is a guy they brought in, and in his first match back, he beat John Cena in 7 minutes. Clean with a kick to the face.
Well, bro, you want to hear something really worse, Sean? Because I got that same exact note. How bad is this, bro? Michael Cole said when Del Rio hit Kalisto with that kick, freaking Michael Cole pointed out he beat John Cena with that kick. And I'm sitting here saying, okay, bro, so he beat John Cena. He can't beat this vanilla midget with the kick. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to bury Cena or what, but you can't sit there and say he beat Cena with that kick and he didn't beat a guy half Cena's size.
And why isn't he using that as a finish? If I know why they didn't have him do the foot stomp to Cena, because there's no way Cena's going to take that, and he might not be able to. They're not having him tap out to the arm bar because Cena doesn't tap out to anybody. So they had him beat him with a kick. Then beat everybody else with a kick, too. You got to move over.
And here's another gaping hole, Sean. I don't know how these guys don't see this. Okay, bro. Kalisto beat Del Rio when none of the nation was ringside. Okay?
Yeah.
When Del Rio got the title back, he needed Barrett's help. Okay? On Thursday on SmackDown, we saw the nations smacking Kalisto around like a crash dummy. Right?
Yeah.
Where was the League of Nations? Bro, how simple is it to send them out there, let them screw around with Kalisto the entire match, and then finally the ref sends them to the back? Then they get the big pop. Now Alberto Del Rio is out there with him by himself. But the fact that he already lost once when the nation wasn't out there, when the nation was out there, he beat him. Where's the nation? It like agree. Stuff like that just drives me absolutely nuts, bro.
I agree.
And it's like they're not watching their own show.
I'm all for Kalisto getting a shot, but I don't know what this hot potato thing is. Maybe it's for the unpredictability. I don't know. But this probably means Del Rio's getting another damn rematch. And I don't know.
Tomorrow night on Raw.
Yeah, probably tomorrow night on Raw. No advertising anything, or maybe on SmackDown. Maybe they will advertise it on Raw for SmackDown because that seems to be the way they've wanted to do it lately. I did not like this match. Good for Kalisto. I hope he can do something special. I hope he becomes the next Rey Mysterio, like I'm sure they want him to be, but I don't see it because Rey's very special, and Kalisto's special too, but not to the level in which Rey Mysterio Jr. is. No. You got to find maybe it is him, but it's not right now. It sure as hell isn't right now.
And they should never make that comparison either, too, bro, because once they make the comparison, that's what everybody at home is saying.
Yeah. Also, guys, I want to say, if you all didn't get to check out our interview with DDP on Monday's podcast, go check that out. He talked about a lot of awesome stuff. Talked about rooming with Steve Austin, about how he thought he had heat with Randy Orton. He also talked about the resurrection of Jake the Snake, video on demand, now available at iTunes. I watched it. I thought it was incredible. It's fantastic to see what DDP did for Jake the Snake Roberts. And did it with the DDP Yoga plan. I personally use DDP Yoga to help heal 2 bulging discs in my neck that prevented me from wrestling, from working out, from training MMA and things like that. You can download the DDP Yoga Now app. It has nutrition help. It has motivational stories. It has live free workouts. It has all kinds of stuff on it. If you fall behind, it'll email you and it'll let you know and harass you and call you a monkey and all kinds of crazy stuff. Also, your story events about DDP wanting to fake his own death in a storyline had people ironically dying when they heard it.
Oh, yeah, bro. He had the whole thing mapped out. We didn't really get into it, but he wanted to go to another country where there was very little press. I mean, he was willing to go the whole 9 yards with it.
Oh God, I can imagine DDP like getting on a flight to like Istanbul or something like that.
I can't even remember where it was, but he had the whole thing laid out.
Well, the last match we'll talk about, Charlotte versus Becky. I thought that this has been one of the top storylines in the WWE of late. These two girls got some time to work. I'll check and see how long it was, but pretty good match, I thought. I thought it was a really good match. Ric Flair got involved, and it was kind of clunky. That was straight up sexual assault that he did on Becky Lynch, kissing her. That was kind of weird. Don't know who gave the okay to that, but they got about 12 minutes. Becky Lynch had an awesome armbar transition that I liked, and Ric Flair like just tossed his coat in on Becky while she was doing the disarmer. Now, Vince, shouldn't that be the same as throwing in the towel?
Bro, they absolutely. I hated this more than anything on the entire show because they've done a nice job of building Becky the last couple of weeks.
And they buried her.
Bro, how many times do I sit here and say you got to put yourself in the boots of every single wrestler?
Yeah.
And you got to protect this is why nobody's getting over, bro. You give her all this television time for the last month or whatever it is.
In a great storyline, too.
Then you just bury her like nothing. Bro, this is all they had to do. First of all, Sean, the minute Flair kisses her, how is Flair not sent to the back by the referee?
Yeah.
Like so bro, it's this simple. Flair sent to the back. Now Flair's not there to involve. Now they have a hell of a match. Becky's taking it to Charlotte. Boom, boom, boom. Becky misses something big. Yeah. And it enables Charlotte to get the 1, 2, 3, and she's dead. Let Becky just roll out of the ring at that point. The fact that you beat Becky and then Sasha Banks comes and kicks Becky to the curb. I mean, why?
And he no-sold Becky's punch right afterwards. I was like, at least accept the consequence.
The object is to get everybody over, not just Sasha in this segment. The object is to get everybody over. Everything they did with Becky, they kicked it to the curb today like she was a piece of trash.
I hated that. I thought the match was really good. Becky losing, sure, whatever. Sasha came out, got a great pop. It's okay that that's the next program. That's fine that that's the next program because Sasha's the most over girl on the roster. But Sasha just kind of literally just booted Becky and said, "My time, see ya."
Oh my God.
They need to have Becky come out there on fire and beat the absolute piss out of one of those. Beat the piss out of Sasha to get some heat back, or else there's not going to be anything left of Becky.
I would bet anything by tomorrow they forgot all about that. They're on to Charlotte and Sasha. And, bro, let me just tell you, whoever was the agent or the producer, whatever they're called these days, that was so horribly laid out with Sasha, turning on Charlotte there. It was so freaking telegraphed, bro. It was freaking horrible. They should have just had Sasha come out straight away at Charlotte, get her heat, whatever. But the way they laid that out, it was so freaking telegraphed. It was horrible.
I hope that it somehow sets up a triple threat. I really do.
So do I. I agree.
I hope it does. It needs to, or Becky Lynch is dead in the water. And I hate that because, I thought that their storyline's been good. It's not taking up a bunch of time on TV or anything. They were able to plant things in little 1, 2, 3 minute segments, matches, things like that built up to something. I don't want to say special because it shouldn't be special that there's a good storyline in WWE. But it's special because it's good and because everything so much on WWE programming has sucked lately. It was.
And sure, not only that, listen, I got to be honest with you. I watched some NXT when all the girls were there. Okay. Yeah. And I got to tell you, Charlotte and Sasha, I never quite thought Becky was on that level. Okay. Now I got to tell you, when I used to book and I used to write and you used to hand somebody the ball, if they delivered it, you gave them a little bit more the next week and the next week and the next week. Bro, she's been cutting great promos. She's been doing a great freaking job. They have to protect her. And like you said, I mean, if it's not a triple threat or something, we're right back to Rusev. You build the guy, in one instant, boom, he's back to start. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think Becky Lynch is fantastic. I think she definitely is. I think she's on a level above Charlotte. But yeah, are you familiar with this AJ Styles TNA Bullet Club situation?
Bro, can I comment on this?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, bro, do you know how many times I was at TNA?
Well, hold on. Let me give people the background first before we comment. So TNA this weekend issued a very unusual statement, and I'll read it. I'll read it verbatim. This was on their website. You go to the website, picture of AJ Styles, you click it. And here's how the statement read. AJ Styles has always been synonymous with TNA, and TNA synonymous with AJ Styles. AJ helped build the foundation of Impact Wrestling, and his phenomenal body of work lives in our rich history, something we are very proud of. In the last few weeks, rumors had swirled about AJ Styles and his future with TNA, or his future and TNA wrestling. Fans have asked for the status, and wrestling media have made numerous inquiries. For the past several months, AJ and TNA were involved in serious discussions to bring him back home to TNA. Creative discussions escalated between two additional wrestlers, Drew Galloway and Chad Allegra, Carl Anderson, were enthusiastically added. These discussions culminated on December 14th in Nashville, Tennessee, where all attended a meeting at Dixie Carter's home. A handshake and written deal between AJ, Drew, Chad, and TNA was agreed upon and signed by all. Start dates were determined, creative decided, merchandise designed, and plane tickets purchased. Over the Christmas holiday, and after the lawyers finalized the long-form agreement, all communication with TNA stopped. AJ's lawyer contacted TNA and stated that the wrestlers had changed their mind and would not be honoring their commitment to TNA. Vince, how did you feel about this statement? First off, I want to say this. There were no rumors of AJ Styles and TNA besides the ones that TNA themselves floated out there. I can say that firsthand experience. That's where those rumors came from TNA.
Bro, let me. Yeah. Are you done, Sean? You want to finish? Again, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I wanted to hear from you because I know you worked for TNA for a long time.
I'm going to tell you, bro, this is such. It's so Bush on their part, and that's why TNA is TNA. Let me tell you something, bro. I remember specifically when 4 years ago, right before I left TNA, bro, 4 years ago, around this time, we're looking to put the Main Event Mafia together. Now, you got to understand, I'm writing the TV with Matt Conway. We're writing the television. And we need to know, do we have Nash and Booker? Do we have Nash and Booker? So we're sitting there twiddling our thumbs because we can't write television because we don't have Kevin Nash and Booker T. Then we're told we've got Kevin Nash and Booker T. Okay? Well, Kevin Nash and Booker T appeared in the Royal Rumble 5 days from then. Okay? Here's the problem, bro. TNA, sometimes this is why they're Mickey Mouse, bro. I'm just gonna say this is why it's so freaking Mickey Mouse with them, and the fact that they put out a statement is even more Mickey Mouse. Everybody knows, bro. Business 101, especially in baseball. Now the free agents are signing in the offseason. You know, you've got agents like Scott Burrows who are playing one team against the other. That's called business, to get the client as much money as possible. That's what they were doing, those freaking guys. They went to TNA. What are you going to give us? Knowing full well they're going to go back to the WWE and use that as, use that to get more money and to get a better deal. Those guys never signed a piece of paper. I guarantee you there was nothing signed whatsoever.
Carl Anderson can't. He's still under contract, which is the most baffling thing. They opened themselves up to contract tampering.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you dropped the ball. Bro, I've said this all along, and I'm going to say it again because it's not personal. It's freaking business. Okay? You've lost 2 television deals on John Gaborik's watch. You've lost 2 television deals on his watch. Now this happens where you think you've got these 3 guys, and then next thing you know, they're signing with TNA, signing with WWE, and you're going to put out a press release that makes you look so lame. And so, you know what it makes you look like? It makes you look like you can't play in the same ballpark as the WWE, which you can't. And that's the problem with TNA, bro, from day one. Nobody takes responsibility. Poor little us. AJ came to my house. I gave AJ milk and cookies. And the next Next thing I know, they're not answering our calls. Well, guess what? Because the WWE knows how to negotiate. They know how to get the people that they want. They don't freaking mamby-pamby around. So freaking take responsibility. You drop the ball. End of story.
This situation pissed me off so bad. And I always have to preface this because people always go off on me and send me angry emails and angry things. I have friends that work for TNA. And you know what? I see the hard work that a person like EC3 puts on to be the face of that damn brand. He works his ass off. I see the turnaround that has happened when a guy like Shane Helms goes there and agents and works his ass off and gives what he can. I see Matt Hardy committing his entire life to getting this heel character over right now. And I saw Matt Hardy, Tyrus, Rebby Sky, and EC3 do a fantastic main event segment on Impact that was essentially a quadruple turn with a title match, masterfully crafted, and it's overshadowed by crap like this. They lowballed AJ Styles 2 years ago. He would have stayed with TNA. He wanted to stay with TNA, and they lowballed him. And then they're complaining about this. What about the guys they legit fired from Feast or Fired in the middle of their damn contracts? What about that? What about the time last year when they brought Hernandez over while he was under contract to Lucha Underground, screwed up months of their own TV and blamed it on MVP? What about that?
And let MVP go because of it.
And let MVP go and ruined one of their hottest damn storylines they had with the Beatdown Clan. The incompetence is amazing to me. I couldn't believe it. And it hurts my feelings for these people that I know work their asses off for
Sean,
TNA.
I got to tell you this. This is the God honest truth. Sean, when I was writing the television for WWE, I knew if I did not deliver ratings, I am going to be replaced. You expect that. Vince, this is your job. Your job is to get ratings. Nobody had to tell me if I didn't get the ratings, I'm going to be replaced. So every week, that's why I wrote the TV I wrote, because my job depended on ratings, right? Well, Sean, that when I went to TNA, okay, nobody was held responsible for anything. And 10 years later, still nobody is held responsible for anything. You bring up a great freaking point with Hernandez. That was MVP's fault and John Gaborik. This was AJ Styles' fault and not John Gaborik. And then you wonder why you're in the position you're in. You're in the position you're in because nobody takes freaking responsibility. And Sean, let me tell you something else about these guys and girls on the TNA roster that freaking blows me away. Okay, bro, because TNA doesn't know how to market, doesn't know how to promote, doesn't know how to advertise because they never have. Bro, the day of a show, every single person on that freaking roster is working social media. It's unbelievable to me. Every single one of the roster, up and down, they are doing so much that they can do on their end.
I will say, and this might get me heat with TNA. I don't know. I hope it doesn't get the site heat with TNA. They used to give us interviews and stuff. The company did. You can't get an answer from them anymore. You have to go directly to the wrestlers, and every single time the wrestlers are like, "Yes, I'll do it. Anything to promote the brand." You name them. Robbie E, Rockstar Spud, as I mentioned, EC3, Shane Helms. I talked to Shane Helms for an hour last week about TNA, about anything he was willing to do to promote that brand, and people like that work their asses off. And that's why it hurts me for them that work so hard that that stuff is overshadowed when TNA does this stuff and makes themselves look like a jealous ex-boyfriend or girlfriend in middle school. It's unbelievable to me.
Do you know, bro? And I'm with you 100% because, bro, do you know? Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. There aren't too many people I have ill feelings towards, okay?
Mhm.
But I'm going to tell you flat out, I have ill will feelings towards John Gaboric. And I'll tell you why, bro. Because when I accidentally sent that email to the wrong person, John Gaboric could not wait to call me and tell me I was no longer consultant. Bro, he just put me out of work. That was the only income I was making at the time. And he was laughing at me. Laughing at a guy that you just told, well, bro, you don't have any money coming in anymore. So is it personal with Gaboric? You're damn right it is. But you know what I do, Sean? Exactly like you do. I bring all their talent on my show, and I say, guys, put it over to the moon. And I say 1,000 times, Pop TV, Tuesday night, through the moon. Why? Because of every guy and girl on that freaking roster, bro. They're not responsible for management. They're doing all they possibly can.
Well, I've never interacted with John Gaburick, so I don't have an opinion on him either way, but I really appreciate you talking about this because I know you open yourself to criticism. I mean, I know that you do. I mean, I know that you're subject to it no matter what, but given TNA and, you know, there was an up and down history there, so I appreciate you being willing to open up to that because I know the backlash isn't fun, but on a more positive note, I thought the Royal Rumble was a fantastic show. And before you TNA people get mad at me, I thought that Impact was actually a very good show this week too. I put over their main event angle repeatedly on Twitter. I thought it was excellent. Also, Ring of Honor was fantastic this week. A lot of good wrestling on. We have the return of Lucha Underground next week. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. Several interviews from TNA, from Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, all coming up. But before we go, Vince, what would you rate this Royal Rumble show?
What am I rated on a 5?
Yeah, on a 5.
Bro, I'll give it a 4. I don't have a problem giving it a 4, bro.
I'm a little more optimistic. I'm going to give it like a 4.25. I really loved this show. Thought it was really good, but we'll answer a couple of questions before we go because we went a little bit longer on this than I thought we would, and try to want to keep it under an hour. Don't want to keep you guys up all night because I know that a lot of you are on the East Coast. But yeah. People asking, is Becky Lynch buried? We're going to find that out next week or this week probably. If she doesn't get some sort of heat back on her tomorrow, I think she is. What do you think, Vince?
She has to, bro, please. And like, again, bro, that's why like I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say, okay, I mean, you did what you did. You got tomorrow to fix it. Let's see how we protect her.
People are super mad at you for the vanilla midget comment, by the way.
Let's blame Kevin Nash. I got it from him.
Ooh. See, whenever people get mad at me on the board, I just tell them to blame you. So you can now redirect it to
Kev. That's
Kevin Nash.
I learned that term from Kevin.
Also, guys, I highly recommend if you all can find it on YouTube, Kevin Nash on I think it was Hannity and Combs, where he destroys a woman on the subject of steroids. Like it's insane. That guy is one of the smartest dudes in the business. On the topic of eliminated guys, eliminating other entrants, why didn't Lesnar just go back in and do the same thing to Bray? Lesnar just casually walked away. Exactly. He should have. There was no reason not to. That's why it lacked continuity. What do you think, Vince?
That's a great point, man. Whoever said that, that's an absolute great point. Bro, listen, Vince McMahon and his crew, they've been doing this long enough. I'm just sorry, man. Mistakes like that just should not be made. I mean, I'm a stickler for that stuff, bro. He's absolutely right, the guy.
Can I get a Vince Russo bro t-shirt? You need to make those, Vince.
Bro, we got bro t-shirts. You go to
really?
What's that t-shirt place? The big one.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Pro Wrestling Tees. There's a bro t-shirt, bro.
There you guys go. Damn. You need to do a thing like maybe collaborate with Dean Ambrose, and you can have the bro capitalized in it.
Yeah, but DDP's the king of bro.
That's true.
I give that to him.
That's true. Good point. What do you all think are the top 3 matches at WrestleMania this year? Undertaker versus whoever he's facing, and I have no idea who it'll be since given the roster, but Brock Lesnar and Bray, and then Roman Reigns, Triple H. What do you think, Vince?
Man, I got to touch on, I love Bray. I'm a huge fan of Bray. I don't know how, with everything that's been done, I don't know how they make it believable for Bray to have a one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. I hope they can somehow make it happen. I really do.
Well, it's got to be story, bro. It's got to be story, and I just don't have a lot of confidence in them when it comes to that.
Sean, who are you defending your $1 million championship against at WrestleMania? That is for decor purposes only. I do have a little indie tag championship that I'll be defending probably in the spring in Ohio if you all are out there. So come check it out if you want to see me embarrass myself in the ring. Wrestling Inc. podcast. Will Triple H ever let go of the spotlight? Guys, I think he has, but this was a perfect spot for him.
Yeah, I don't think it's that at all, guys. It's business. And, again, I think him with that belt going into WrestleMania and that big stadium, I totally get it. I don't think it's a Triple H ego thing at all.
Is a 46-year-old champion a good or a bad move? I think in this situation, it's a good move.
Yeah, and also, bro, again, a lot of times, I hate to go back to David Arquette, bro. But a lot of times you got to look at how the guy won the match. It's Triple H did not go in there at 46 years old with a guy 20 years younger than him and wrestle a 40-minute match. That's not what we saw tonight. He won the belt in a Royal Rumble match that was up for grabs and anybody could have won.
Well, I will definitely not advocate David Arquette as WCW champion, Vince, but thank you so much for giving us your time. Guys, thank you for listening, for watching, for commenting, all that great stuff. We are back tomorrow. Don't forget, download the DDP Yoga Now app. Get yourself in great shape. Also, check out the Resurrection of Jake the Snake on it.com/wrestling. You too can be a Royal Rumble winner and a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Save 10% at onit.com/wrestling. We are back tomorrow night.
Sean, could I just hit him real quick with VinceRussoBrand.com?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just want to hit him with VinceRussoBrand.com. We do video podcasting like 6 days a week. In addition with, me, you, and Raj tomorrow night, and also my Nuclear Heat show on Wrestling Inc. every Thursday.
Also, Vince has a new Kayfabe Commentaries DVD coming out soon, which I'm looking forward to. Timeline WWF 98, I believe it is. I'm excited for that.
That hasn't been released yet, huh? We did that a while ago.
Yeah, it's going to be out in February, I saw. But yeah, guys, check it all out. Again, onit.com/wrestling. Save 10%. Catch you guys later.